Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the world of supply chains.
Supply chains.
Yeah. And before anyone clicks away thinking this is going to be boring,
Yeah,
trust me, this stuff is way more interesting than it sounds.
it really is.
We're going to be unpacking the power of something called supply network planning,
Mm-hmm.
specifically when it's powered by something called an optimizing digital twin.
Okay.
And you might be surprised at how relevant this is to your own life,
Yeah.
even if you aren't, running a global network of shipping containers or whatever.
Right. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
How many times have you been caught off guard by something not being
Oh, yeah.
where it's supposed to be, when it's supposed to be there?
All the time.
That's a supply chain issue in a nutshell.
That is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And speaking of things not being where they should be, one thing that jumped out to me in our research
Okay.
was how many businesses neglect transportation forecasting.
Oh, yeah.
And this seems so obvious when you think about it.
It really does.
The stuff has to actually get from point A to point B somehow, right?
Exactly. And it's often treated as an afterthought.
Really?
It is, it's like assuming that the water will always flow from the tap and then panicking when the pipes freeze,
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So how do we avoid those supply chain pipe freezes?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Think about when you book a flight or order groceries online.
Mm-hmm.
You plan ahead.
Right.
You make sure you have what you need when you need it.
Makes sense.
It's the same with transportation for businesses.
Yep.
So let's say you are a company that regularly ships goods to the New York metro area.
Okay.
If you know you're likely to need 10 trucks next week,
Uh-huh.
why not pre-book at least 5 now?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you're not scrambling at the last minute.
Exactly.
But I imagine forecasting for customer shipments is a lot trickier than replenishing your own stock, right?
Oh, absolutely. Customer demand
Yeah.
can fluctuate wildly, especially with things like sudden trends or flash sales.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that inherent unpredictability,
Yeah.
analyzing historical data and understanding seasonality can go a long way.
Okay.
And for replenishing stock, that's where you can really shine with forecasting,
Okay.
because you have more control
Right.
over your own inventory needs.
Yeah.
Knowing your production schedule and lead times makes it much easier to predict those replenishment shipments
Uh-huh.
and lock in the best rates from carriers.
Okay.
Yeah.
This all ties into this bigger picture of supply network planning, right?
Exactly.
It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle
It is.
where transportation forecasting is just one piece.
Right. Supply network planning looks at the whole picture
Okay.
to make sure all those pieces fit together smoothly.
Okay.
And there's one particularly crucial step:
What's that?
converting those forecasted needs into actual truckloads.
Go ahead.
So let's say you need to move 10,000 cases of product.
Uh-huh.
How many trucks will that take?
Okay.
What are the legal weight limits? How will you optimize the loading to minimize damage and wasted space?
That's where it gets really interesting. So it's more than just cramming boxes onto a truck.
It is.
There's a whole science to it.
Exactly.
Wow.
This is where tools like level load come into play.
Oh, okay.
It helps businesses factor in those limitations,
Yeah.
warehouse capacities, and preferred carrier networks
Mhm.
to create a feasible and efficient shipment plan.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
We have forecasting to anticipate needs,
Right.
and then tools like level load to turn those needs into an actionable plan.
Exactly. And by considering the entire network
Okay.
from production to delivery,
Yeah.
we can start to smooth out the bumps and avoid those supply chain pipe freezes you mentioned earlier.
Right. Yeah.
This is where the concept of optimization comes in.
Okay.
So imagine rush hour traffic.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get somewhere, but the system is overloaded and inefficient.
Yeah, I feel that pain every Monday morning.
Right. Traditional supply planning systems can create that same kind of chaos.
Really?
They might focus on meeting immediate demand,
Yeah.
but without considering the bigger picture, they generate wild swings in shipping needs.
So one day you need 3 trucks, the next day you need 20.
Exactly.
That doesn't sound very sustainable.
And that volatility is what we want to avoid.
Okay.
That's where level load, with its focus on optimization, comes in.
Okay.
It takes into account factors like throughput capacity at each location,
Yeah.
warehouse space limitations,
Yeah.
even preferred carrier capacity
Mm-hmm.
to create a much smoother and more predictable flow.
So it's like having a super smart traffic app
Yeah,
that not only avoids accidents, but also somehow prevents them from happening in the first place.
That's a great analogy.
Cool.
That's what's so powerful about an optimized approach to supply chain management. But to really take this to the next level,
Okay.
we need to bring in the concept of optimizing digital twins.